Hi, Janie King here, Medicine Drum LLC. I am here today on Tracy Farm in the sacred area by the big boulders where I do a lot of my ceremony. I'm here on the earth to talk to you and show you how I make my drums. I'm going to be demonstrating, if I can keep the black flies from biting, I'm going to be demonstrating how to make a sacred 10-inch horse medicine drum. This is horsehide, and this is the pattern that I will be making today. I will be abbreviating it most likely because it's a 2-hour to a day process. It's a day process for a layperson that doesn't make drums all the time. It's about a 2-hour, well, this size drum maybe an hour process for me. But in the interest of time, I'm hopefully going to fit this all into a short video for you today. I've been promising this on my website for some time, a drum making workshop, and today is the day because it's a beautiful day here in New London, New Hampshire. The sky, puffy clouds, sun going in and out, and here we are in my, it's not mine, the Earth's, the Earth space that calls to me to do ceremony. Around the other side of the stones here is my fire circle that I did create. My landlord gave me permission to put a nice fire circle out in the open on the other side of these big boulders where I do my ceremonies outside from time to time. But today we're going to talk about making your own 10-inch medicine drum, horse medicine drum. So I have my horse hide here. It's been soaking overnight. The lace I'll be using is actually elk lace, and I have this 10-inch hoop that I have actually painted, and I put inside, I don't know if you can see that, but I put inside some horse tracks because I wanted to honor the horse. As I've spoken many times before, ceremony is important for me in making my hoops and my drums and everything that I do in my life, and there are times when I get away from it and other times, like the drum making, that pulls me back into it. And I really feel it's so very important for us to remember the ceremony. In that regard, to remember the ceremony, I have with me some sacred sage. If I can find my lighter, that's always the thing. So let me put you on pause. Okay, I have located my trusty lighter, and I have my sage ready to cleanse the area, and I will be lighting the sage. And ceremony is a big part of, as I said, of what I do, honoring. If I can get my lighter to light now. The wind has died down, the breeze. So we will get this sage burning, get some nice cleansing of the area, clearing. Get a bonfire going here. And so I will smudge myself, smudge the hoop that I have painted turquoise as well. I didn't mention that. I was called to paint this hoop turquoise. My rattle hole punch we'll be using. That's a very important tool. Smudging cleans off any energy that is clinging to your tools that may interfere with the process, the sacred process. It clears away, takes the energies that you don't want to have clung on to things, takes them up and away. So now I'm going to take this, as I say, is elk hide lace that I've already cut and soaked. And the drum head. This drum head is pretty thin, which is going to make a nice small drum, so I would choose a thinner hide for a smaller drum. And so we'll smudge that as well, giving thanks. And this hide actually has a thick side and a thinner side. That's okay because it's an animal, and all of us animals have different thicknesses. I soaked another hide to cut more lace in case I need it. But for now, the next step I'm going to show you is cutting the hide, measuring the hoop and the hide. So I will place the hide on the hoop and see where I want it to fall. Now this drum, I overlapped the hide all the way around both sides of the hoop. This drum, I didn't overlap both sides, only took it around one side. And I find that this is I like this pattern for some reason, but what we could do with this is simply cut it the way it, or make holes in it the way it is without cutting any more from it, and go from there. But I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I'm going to do a little bit of cutting of this to make it go on the hoop a little bit differently. So I'm going to cut that in a minute, and we'll be back to you shortly. So now, as you can see, I just trimmed a little off, a little bit of the hide off of the edges, so that the hide now comes around about halfway, a little more than halfway across the hoop, all the way around like that. I just trimmed the edges so that the hide would come about halfway. Maybe some of it is a little bit more than halfway. I may trim just a tad more right here. This really thick part will be maybe a little bit of a bother, so I give thanks to this horse for its life, its energy, and the power and freedom that will be going into this drum. So once I have it in a circle, so now we can see this. If I fold it in half, this is what I'll be doing next. Fold it in half, and I'll be taking my hole punch and making holes. I'll be making holes all the way around the rounded part, but how I do that is by folding it in half, and I make 2 holes at the same time in the fold. I take my hole punch and I punch right close to the fold, about an inch or so from the edge here. So I will give that click. Hopefully you'll get 2 clicks. If not, 1 click will suffice. Once I've got a hole, I take a nail and I put it through those 2 holes so that I save the place so that it doesn't heal back up, because these hides are alive and they will heal back up if you don't save the whole place with a nail. So here we go with the other side. So each side of the fold, we're doing the same thing. We're making a hole close to the fold. There's my click, and I like to work the hole punch into the hole as much as I can to make it go through, and then I will put another nail through both holes. Okay, so that's how I do it. So now I've got 1 pair of holes. The next thing I'm going to do is match up my nails, and voila, I have another fold. So I'm matching the holes that I've already made and making the circle, semicircle, nice and round again, folding it in half again, and we'll do the same thing. Close to the fold, about 1 inch away from the edge. This is the edge, this is the fold, and we want to hear a nice click. Ooh, this is the thicker side. You can hopefully hear that sound was a little bit different than the click, and I'm going to move it around so it makes a nice deep hole in both sides of the hole, And I will take it out, put a nail through both holes. Hopefully it'll go through both holes. And as that side, we always want to keep our nails matched up, which means these two nails I'm rematching up so that I can get the other fold done. As an airplane goes by. This is the thinner part of the hide right here. So I may make it a little farther from the fold. I'm only hearing one click here. And then put a nail through the holes, both holes. And there we go. So we have now four nails, which is 4 pairs of holes. I'm going to continue this process of making holes, and I'll be right back to you. Okay. Okay. Here we have the hide with all 16 pairs of holes. And so you continue the process I showed you earlier with folding it in half, matching up the nails, and making holes. I'm sorry, bugs. Making the holes. And here you have, and I put nails in the holes because the hide will heal up, and you want to kind of keep track of where the holes are. So here we have your drum head, and it has 16 pairs of holes all the way around. The next step, here we go, the next step. So you have 16, you got to count them, 16 nails in those pairs of holes, so that when we're done, this is what our drum will look like. Or rather, this is what our drum will look like. That's a little easier to see. Now, so here's our drum. We're going to set that aside because we're finished with that portion of it. Now we're going to take the lacing. You're going to find one of the ends of the lacing and make a nice sharp point with your scissor. Sharp, you're going to need sharp scissors. You need a nice, long, sharp point, because this is going to be going through those holes that we just made with the nails, and they're not the thickest holes, but the nail will help to stretch it. So then the next step is we take our hide, and one by one we're going to remove the nails. Now the pattern is very particular in that we want to go under where the nails are. We want to follow the pattern of where the nails go in and out. So here's what I do. Take one nail out, go in one hole with the hide, with the lacing rather. Then the other holes on the other side, you go out that hole. And you may need your nail to get it through the hole, or you may not. Okay? So we're going to string this. We're going to string this all the way around. So we're going to take out the next hole, the next nail, do the same thing. Find our tip, find our hole, go in one hole, out the other hole, out the other in the back, and that's what we're going to do all the way around the drum. All the way around the drum. You see the lacing going underneath. So this is going to be the head of the drum. This is going to be the back of the drum, or the inside of the drum. And that was my decision that I made. You can make a different decision if you'd like. So I'm going to do that off camera. I'm going to go all the way around, in and out of the holes, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so here we have it. We have our drum head with the lacing all stitched all the way around in the pattern that I explained to you earlier. And we have one end coming out this way, one end coming out that way. So what we're going to do, this is the inside, this is the head of the drum. We're going to take our hoop, place the hide on the hoop, And we need the lacing to go around the outside of the hoop, like a hat, all the way around. So we need the lacing to be plenty of looseness to it so we can stretch the drum head over the top of the hoop all the way around. Nice. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. So we've got the beginnings of what looks like a drum. Look at that. Looks very nice. You want the even it out so you have the lacing, the distance between the lacing and the drum head as even as you can all the way around. So there you go. So there's the beginning. Sun's coming out. It's a nice day. Let me get a little more comfortable. So we have the lacing strung all the way around the edge of the drum. Now we're going to pull this lacing tight right here at these two, where they two come together all the way around the drum. We're going to pull it tight. So we're going to tighten it up onto the hoop. Tighten it up onto the hoop with these two ends, just like you would do your lacing of your shoestrings. Pulling it tight, both sides. Just give a double check that, like right there, it's sort of going too close to the edge of the hoop. So I want to make sure that it's not too far up there to come off of the hoop. And then I'm going to just tie a knot. This is a method that I've kind of picked up along the way. It's different than what I started off doing in 1997, but I believe it's a little more traditional. There are many different methods for making a drum. This method is the method that I now prefer, using all the materials of the animal. In this case, it's horse and elk. So the lacing right now is elk, and I just used elk because that's what I had already cut. Cutting the hide can take some time. So there's the beginning of a nice drum head. Now the next step is we will be lacing. Get to the other end of my lace. Okay, there's a knot. This is where it's coming from. You're going to count around. You're going to go across the drum. Since there's 16 of these double holes, we're going to number 8. That's halfway across. We're going to slide the lacing underneath one of these spaces, as so, and pull it through all the way to the knot. There you go. So there's one of the directions. So we're going to do the four directions, or 2 directions actually that way. And I'm going to untwist it because I'm a perfectionist. I like my things kind of untwisted and straight. If you like it twisted, then by all means, twisted is okay for you. I like mine a little untwisted. So I'm untwisting it a little bit. And now we're going to pull it tight. I'm pulling it tight. And then I'm going to go to the middle and actually go under the middle and go across to number 4 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I may need to slide it under with a utensil such as a scissor, although something less sharp would probably be better. Pulling that through. Now this is where we get the 4 directions going, and but we need to anchor the middle kind of with this one as we do the 4 directions. So we're just going to hold it there with this small end as we go across to the other side. We don't want to tighten it up yet. Go across to this side to number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. Going down. I'm going to slide it under with my scissor. If you have a screwdriver, that might be better. or I also use needle nose pliers. Okay, pulling it through. Now I will have 4 directions once I anchor it in the center. I just want to untwist this side. The 4 directions. I'm going to hold that here with that. And let's see where we are here. I'm going to pull that tight, because tight as a drum, as they say, is the truth. It wants to be tight. It wants to be tight. Okay, so now I'm holding it in the middle. I'm going to tie a knot with my short end and my long end together. It can't get really tight right now until the 4 directions are anchored in place. I'm anchoring them with just a regular square knot. Hopefully square knot. There you have the beginnings of the drum. Now the next thing we're going to do from here on is continually going back and forth with the lace, which I will now demonstrate again. We find the end of the lace. 1, 2, 1, 2. So now we have 3 in between, so 2 is the middle. I want to slide that under, pull it through. Now that I've got it anchored in the middle, I can really get into my tightening process. I want to straighten out the hide, tighten it, go across to the other side. You want to be sure that you're not pulling the hide off of the hoop as you do this, so you need to pay attention. Pay attention to every step of the way that you are doing. This is going across the middle, from this side, across to this side, pull it tight. And there we have the beginnings of a drum. So I'm going to continue going back and forth in that manner as I make the rest of the drum, and we'll follow up with you in a minute. Hello, and here we are with the last step completed of your beautiful new 10-inch medicine drum, or mine, I guess, the one that I am demonstrating for you today. 10-inch medicine drum, nice and tight. I have added 1 strip I had to cut of horsehide here. 1 strip of horsehide, which you can see is a little darker than the elk. So this 1 spoke here is horse. The rest is elk, because that's what I had on hand. Very nice finished, nice drum. It's not finished actually. That's one last step. The last step is to take 1, 2, 3, 4 spokes. 1, 2, 3, 4 spokes. And we'll pull them together with what's left here. We'll wrap it around 4 or 5 or 6 times, tighten it up, and then we'll do these 4, and then we will do these 4. Oh, that's pretty loose. I may have to tighten that one up. These 4, and then the last 4. And so your drum, when it's finished, will look like this. The 4 spokes pulled together. That's how I finish off my drums and tighten them up, the last tightening process. And you're doing this while the hide is damp, actually very wet. You want the hide to be wet, and you want to stretch it tight. So this is not quite finished. I'm going to finish it off off tape, off camera, and this is how it will look when it is complete. And here we are. We're almost there. And hope you enjoyed this series of how to make a drum. If you have any questions or thoughts or comments, or if you'd like to host a medicine drum building workshop in your location, please do contact me here on my website. Or you could email me at medicinedrums@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. I'd love any comments about this series of how to make a drum, how we can improve it, or how I could give you more information that would help you to make your own drum. Or if you'd like to come to one of my workshops, please let me know. Get in touch. And until next time, until we meet again or until we meet at all, remember, your heart knows the way. Be well, do good work, and keep on drumming.